Hi, welcome to our check-in. My name's Kelsey, children's educator here at Ginter Botanical Garden, and this week I'm going to be sharing with you my crockpot herbal salve recipe. The last time I made this salve was with a group of campers, and it was so fun. They had a blast, and now they have a really awesome salve to add to their herbal toolkit for when they get bug bites, scratches, sunburns, or even just dry skin from washing your hands a lot, or when you get dry skin in the winter time. The ingredients of this herbal salve are dried lavender and calendula flowers. Lavender and calendula are both herbs that I love to grow in the garden every single year because of their healing properties. They're both known for being really good at healing skin and also for reducing pain. So when you get a bug bite or a scratch and you put your lavender or calendula salve on there, it helps to heal your skin quicker, and it helps with that pain a little bit. Also, lavender is a really calming smell, and it just smells really great. So those two flowers are what you'll use, and also beeswax. And then you'll need a carrier oil such as coconut oil or almond oil or olive oil. I'm using a mixture of coconut oil and almond oil, and a crock-pot. Okay, so your first step is to dry your herbs. When I harvested my lavender flowers, I cut them with long stems and then bundled them and hung them upside down for several weeks to make sure that my flowers were dry. And with the calendula, you just pop the heads of the flowers off and lay them on a flat surface on a piece of paper, and then cover them, and then also leave those for a few weeks until they're completely dry. If your herbs aren't fully dry, then you risk mold getting into your oil infusion and into your salve. So you want to make sure your herbs are dried. And so your first step is to add those herbs to your crock pot by crumbling them up into smaller pieces. Then you can cover those herbs with your carrier oil. I don't measure for this recipe, but you'll know when you have enough oil when your herbs are completely covered with oil, maybe a little more on the top. So now you can turn your crock pot on. I usually like to start out at low and then turn it down to keep warm, and leave it on keep warm for 24 hours so that the properties inside of the herbs can seep out or steep into your oil, and this is called an infusion. You're infusing your carrier oil with the herbal properties of the lavender and the calendula. So once your oil has been infusing for 24 hours, you can strain out the solid parts, and I used a flour sack. You can use a strainer with really fine holes, or you can use cheesecloth. And so you pour your oil over the cheesecloth or your strainer or whatever you're using and squeeze out the oil. And then you can save those flour bits. I'm gonna add some salt or some sugar and maybe a little bit more oil, and then I can have a nice herbal scrub so you don't have to waste. So once you've strained out all your flour bits, you can wipe out your crock pot to get the rest of the flowers out, and then you put your oil back in, and then you'll start grating in your beeswax. Beeswax will help your salve to be sort of solid, so you can grate as much beeswax or as little as you would like to. And the way that you test to see if you have enough beeswax is you do what's called a spoon test. As you're grating your beeswax, you're testing with a spoon. You dip your spoon in and then set it in your freezer to harden, and then you can test the consistency and the texture of your salve until it is as solid or as oily as you want. And so once you've got the right consistency, you can add your salve to your jars, and you are good to go. All right, so here's our final product. It smells so good, and I can keep this all year long and use it anytime I get a bug bite or a scratch or my skin feels dry, and it is wonderful. So nice. So let me know if you guys try making your own calendula and lavender salve at home and how it goes. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for checking in. Remember to always make sure to use caution if you're using a heat source like a crock pot, and to always have supervision if you're using a stove. Thanks so much for checking in. Have a good week.